Around the world are constantly evolving. This week, the SABC Digital Newsroom introduced a new platform to deliver content to their audience. Joining me now is Digital News Multimedia producer Motloung. Neo, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me here.
Now, I understand that the SABC Digital Newsroom launched a live blog. Take us through how it actually works and why you launched it.
We launched a live blog because the way people consume news these days is way different from 2 years or a year back. Now we're taking all SABC platforms from radio, TV, and we're putting them on this live blog so that they have a longer lifespan. Because if you miss the bulletin at 1, you can have it on our live blog the whole day. We're putting different content, as you can look on the screen, from videos. There you are right now. And yeah, audio, we're taking audio from radio, we're taking video from TV, and we're just breaking news.
Now, you just mentioned that if somebody misses the bulletin, then they're able to see it. Is it safe to assume that all the SABC News bulletins will be on this live blog, or is it specific ones?
It's specific bulletins, but what we are doing is that we are breaking the news down into other social media platforms like Instagram. We're looking into Snapchat, Vines, so it has a longer lifespan. Because people these days are not going to watch the whole bulletin.
Yeah, they don't have the time.
They don't have the time. So we are creating a way that they can consume news without bombarding them with too much. And that's why this live blog is creating right now.
And then how can people log on to the live blog?
It's on our site.
Okay.
You just go to SABC/news. And you will see there's a tablet there that will take you straight to the live blog.
Now let's move on to usually the favorite, section of our interviews. Let's look at the trending topics for this week. I mean, there's 3 that really popped up. It was Nkandla, FW de Klerk, and Malema just yesterday.
Yes.
So let's go through some of the tweets on Nkandla, for example, because that was quite a big one.
Yeah. Nkandla came out on Tuesday night, but on Wednesday morning it already reached about 2 million people who were interacting on it on social media. Yeah. You had people in America. You have to understand, America has over 300 million people, but 5% of people who are living in America were talking about Nkandla. So it wasn't just the South African news, it was an international news, and everything that lives on a digital platform these days transcend. Looking at the tweets, of course, I mean, people think President Zuma is proposing to pay back the money because elections are closing up.
Is that pretty much the strong sentiment that's coming out of the tweets when you were looking at them?
It's a strong sentiment. Yeah. The majority of tweets are saying that they're not taking it as... They feel like it's just for elections,
Okay, then let's move on to FW de Klerk. I mean, we had him saying that he's not fazed by the charges that have been laid against him. What are the people on social media saying?
People on social media are saying de Klerk is not a hero. He's not a South African hero, and his title, the Nobel Peace, should be taken away from him because he didn't go to the commission and, get pardoned. It doesn't look good for him on social media. It's very negative news coming out.
Speaking on it not looking good, I mean, there are different people on social media, and I assume there are people who are for him, in as much as you're saying that the majority is against him. So what's the sentiment in terms of those that are for him, for example?
There isn't really much that I can say about that for those who are, because the majority of tweets that came out were negative, and you have a society, we call it Black Twitter, that leashes on you and whatever you do.
Well, explain, what is Black Twitter for somebody at home who doesn't know what Black Twitter is?
Black Twitter is social media activism.
Okay, yes, why is it black? Because I'm black and I'm on Twitter. Am I part of Black Twitter?
You are part of Black Twitter if you jump on topics without understanding the context of it.
So even if I'm white, even if I'm Indian, no matter what race I am, if I'm jumping on topics with no context, you need to be black.
Yes.
This is very interesting because we're going to have people coming back at us saying that, what is this Black Twitter? So I just wanted you to clarify on that. Now let's look at the final one because we're running out of time. Malema. That was massive yesterday.
It was massive.
We had the Curry story. We had Gupta. So take us through that.
The Curry story, people are saying Malema needs to be taken to the Human Rights Commission for saying something like that because it's unethical to class a group of people, because the Guptas are Indians, as we know, so people are finding it very racial. Okay. And you have people saying Malema is a good... there's a tweet, the first tweet would say Malema is not a good leader, and they don't see him running the country. But most of the tweets that were coming out were about NN7 and how he is inciting violence on journalists. You know, NN7 journalists are not safe technically not safe anymore because they can be attacked by his comrades or whatever.
So in terms of the tweets that you were picking up, would you say that it was Black Twitter that was against Malema, or is it just Twitter in general?
It was Twitter in general.
Okay, that's very interesting. No, thank you so much for joining us. We've run out of time,
no, thank
but
you
it was a nice look, and I learned something today. I now know what Black Twitter is.
Yeah, you're part of Black Twitter.
Oh, I am. Thanks a lot for that. That was our multimedia producer, Motloung, joining us and speaking to me about some of the trending topics this week. We've got business news for you coming up after the break. Stay with us.